Global economy's performance for the past decade is dismal. According to a 2023 World Bank report, almost all the major economies that have powered growth and prosperity since the early 1990s have weakened. Even before the COVID 19 pandemic, an aging population, slowing productivity, and growing barriers to trade were already slowing global growth. Then came shocks from all the four corners. First, the pandemic, then the Ukraine war, resulting in high inflation, and now Israel and Palestine conflict. All of these, combined with already existing issues, have created strong headwinds for the global economy. If strong policy restructuring is not undertaken at this moment, then we may face some serious challenges in the near future. The World Bank predicts that the global GDP growth rate will decline to its lowest level in 3 decades, at just 2.2% per year until 2030. Global growth is projected to slow for the third year in a row, from 2.6% last year to 2.4% in 2024, almost 3/4 of a percentage point below the average of the 2010. In advanced economies, meanwhile, growth is set to slow to 1.2% this year from 1.5% in 2023. But as the saying goes, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. We have hope in this aspect too. Africa can be the hope, but at the same time, it is struggling to rise up due to various issues it is facing. Before we get into details that how Africa can be that ray of light for the entire world, let's understand what are the major issues that today's world are facing in terms of economic aspect. Several factors contribute to this slowdown. However, some of the major issues that the world is facing today are: number 1, aging labor forces; number 2, declining productivity; number 3, rising debt; and last but not the least, increased energy and food prices. At this junction, without significant policy intervention, the world could face a lost decade of growth. Reigniting growth requires targeted policies, robust international cooperation, and a renewed focus on regions with high potential. And here, Africa is the bright spot. Africa, with its young population, abundant natural resources, and strategic location, can play a major role in revitalizing the global economy. But it needs substantial investments in its infrastructure. Investing in Africa's physical and social infrastructure can unleash its economic potential. This means more jobs, higher incomes, and increased demand for global goods and services. Let's dive into all these aspects one by one. First and foremost comes the young population. Young working population contributes to productivity and thus helping the economic growth. Astonishing fact is, Africa's population above 65 years of age has remained within 3% over the past 4 decades. With nearly 2/3 of its population under the age of 30 and 40% under the age of 14, the continent enjoys having the youngest population structure in the world. This means that Africa will benefit from a growing young consumer market and an ample supply of young workers for at least the next 3 to 4 decades. Nigeria will be the third most populous country in the world in 2050 after India and China. With Africa's population expected to double by 2050, from its current 1.4 billion to 2.8 billion, Africa's growing and young consumer market will be the main driver of global demand for consumer, education, health, technological, and infrastructural products and services. The other important aspect of Africa for which it can play the role of a catalyst is its vast natural resources. Nearly 30% of the world's mineral reserves, 12% of its oil reserves, and 8% of its natural gas are in Africa. The continent is also home to 40% of the world's gold reserves. Moreover, the continent boasts the largest reserves of cobalt, diamonds, uranium, and platinum. In other words, 30% of world's rare earth deposits are in Africa. These elements are central to the global economy, and their importance is rising rapidly, especially in various strategic high-tech industries such as semiconductors, batteries, and green energy. Third and very important aspect that Africa can leverage is its geographic location. Africa is surrounded by seas and oceans on all sides, making it easy to trade with most of its economies. Of the 54 countries in the continent, 38 have access to open waters. The remaining landlocked economy can access open waters through at least one neighboring country. Its coastal regions, including the Gulf of Guinea, the Red Sea, and the Cape of Good Hope, serve as critical maritime trade routes. Also, Africa's proximity to the Suez Canal is of significant advantage. The Suez Canal, located in Egypt, connects the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea, providing a vital shortcut for maritime trade between Europe, Asia, and Africa. This access greatly reduces shipping distances and the cost for goods passing through the region. Efforts are underway to establish and expand trade corridors within Africa. But development of Africa is facing hurdles as it is infested in various problems like unprovoked conflicts and violence between the ethnic groups, inept political leaders, poverty, and corruption. However, to address the global slowdown, Africa needs to rise, and to achieve this, a multifaceted approach is required, and this is not unrealistic. Africa managed to triple its GDP from $900 billion to $2.7 trillion between 1990 and 2021. By focusing on Africa's potential and implementing coordinated global policies, we can pave the way for a robust global rebound. So, thanks for watching our video. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more in-depth analysis on global economic issues.